The girl they called Cursed in a far part of the galaxy, where stars burn blue and planets float like islands in space. There lived a girl no one dared to touch. Her name was Ariella. She walked alone through the glowing market streets of planet Virex 9. The sky was always red there, and the air smelled like metal and ash. Aliens from many species filled the streets, some with scales, others with feathers or glowing eyes. But when Ariella walked by, everyone moved away. Mothers pulled their children close. Vendors closed their shops. Some even whispered prayers. Under their breath, everyone knew the story. She is cursed, they said. Anyone who touches her dies. It's the mark of the void. Ariella had deep violet skin, like the dark sky between stars. Strange glowing lines moved slowly across her arms like soft lightning. These marks made others afraid. They said her skin held death, her touch brought illness, her voice carried bad luck. But Ariella did not speak much. She kept her head down. She walked quickly. And deep inside her heart, she held one thing the others had forgotten: hope. She didn't know where she came from. Her earliest memory was waking up in a metal box with flashing lights. A voice said, subject marked, dangerous. Do not engage. That was all. Since then, she had moved from one planet to another, always alone, always feared, but she wasn't dangerous. Was she? Sometimes she wondered. A few who came close to her had gotten sick. A traitor once tried to grab her arm. He died 3 days. Later, the rumors spread fast. She is the curse of the stars, they whispered. A warning from the galaxy. One day, everything changed. A ship landed in the market square. It was not like the other ships. It was older, rusted, and had a human flag on its side. Humans were rare in this part of the galaxy. Most believed Earth was lost long ago. Some said humans were extinct. Others said they chose to disappear. But one had come. The ship opened, and a man stepped out. He wore a long coat, boots with dust from many planets, and a quiet, serious look in his eyes. His name was Reed Carter. And when he saw Ariella, he stopped. For a moment, everything went silent. Reed looked straight at her, not with fear, not with hate, but with something strange. Curiosity. Ariella felt her breath catch. No one ever looked at her like that. He walked toward her slowly. People shouted warnings. Don't go near her. She's cursed. She'll kill you. But Reed didn't stop. He came closer and closer. And then he reached out his hand. Ariella stepped back. Don't, she said, her voice barely a whisper. I don't want you to die. But Reed smiled softly. I won't. And then he touched her hand. Gasps filled the air. Some screamed, others ran. But Reed didn't fall. He didn't get sick. He didn't even flinch. He just held her hand for a moment and said, I've been looking for you. Ariella pulled away. Her heart was racing. Why? Because Reed said, I know who you really are, and you're not cursed. She stared at him, confused. Then what am I? Reed looked around. The crowd was watching, whispering, afraid. He leaned closer and said quietly, You're not a danger. You're a survivor, and someone lied to you. Ariella felt dizzy. Could it be true? Was the curse a lie? Before she could ask more, loud alarms rang across the sky. Floating security. Drones flew in fast. Someone had called the guards. Ariella turned to run, but Reed grabbed her arm gently. Come with me, he said. Why should I trust you? She asked. He looked into her eyes. Because I'm the only one who isn't afraid of you. She hesitated. Then nodded. They ran through the market as guards shouted and chased them. People stepped back, letting them pass, still terrified of her. But something was changing. For the first time, Ariella wasn't running alone. The human who didn't fear her space was silent. But Ariella's heart was not. Inside the small human ship, Everything buzzed: lights, wires, screens. But all she could hear was the echo of one question. Why didn't he die? She sat in the corner of the room, knees pulled to her chest, eyes locked on the human sitting across from her, Reed Carter. He was calm, fixing a damaged console. Like touching a cursed girl was an ordinary thing. It. W.S. and single quotes D. No one had ever survived it. Not until him. Who are you really? Ariella finally asked. Reed didn't look up. Someone who stopped believing stories a long time ago. The ship rumbled slightly as it left Verux 9's orbit. Through the window, the red planet faded into a dot. Ariella glanced at her arm. The glowing marks were still there, soft, moving lines that pulsed slowly like veins of light. I warned you not to touch me, she said. I know, Reed replied, but you did it anyway. Yes, he finally looked at her. Because you're not cursed, you're something else. Something they tried to erase. She frowned. Erase? Reed stood and walked to a small metal case near the back wall. He opened it carefully. Inside were old Earth books, real paper, and a thin tablet with cracked edges. He held it out. This ... is what led me to you. Ariella took the tablet. On the screen was a symbol, a star inside a circle, glowing faint blue. Beneath it, words appeared. Project Starborn status. Terminated Subject 7. Missing threat level. Unknown. She blinked. What is this? Reed spoke softly. A forgotten human experiment. Long before Earth disappeared, we tried to create something special. Beings who could survive deep space, heal quickly, use energy from the stars. Guardians for the future. Ariella looked at him, eyes wide. You think I'm one of them? I don't think, he said. I know. The marks on your body? They match the files. Your skin color, your DNA, even your reaction to solar storms. It's all in here. Ariella shook her head. No, I was born on a prison moon. That's what they told me. They lied. Reed sat down across from her again. They wanted people to fear you, so they created the curse story. Because if anyone knew what you really were, they'd want to protect you, or follow you. Ariella felt the air grow heavy. But the people who got sick around me? She asked. The ones who died? Reed hesitated. I think they were poisoned. Made to look like your fault. A way to control you, keep you isolated. Her hands trembled. Then who did this? Who started it all? Reed stared at the floor. The Galactic Federation. They found the Starburn Project files a century ago. And they erased every part of it. Destroyed the labs, hunted the subjects. Only you survived. Ariella couldn't breathe for a moment. Everything she believed, everything she feared about herself was falling apart. Then something beeped on the control panel. Reed jumped to his feet. We've got a problem. What is it? He tapped a screen. We're being tracked. Federation. Patrol ship just locked onto us. We've got 10 minutes before they catch up. Ariella stood up. Why are they following you? They're not following me, Reed said. They're following you. She moved to the window. Far in the distance, a small light was growing bigger. Fast, I can't run again, she whispered. Not forever. Reed looked at her. You don't have to. She turned. Then what do we do? He opened another case. Inside was a black metal device, humming with blue energy. We make them listen, he said. This is a deep space signal booster. If we activate it, we can send the truth to every outlaw channel, every hidden system. Let the galaxy know you're not cursed. You were created to protect. Ariella stared at the device. If we do this, they'll come for us. They're already coming, Reed said, his voice steady. But this time we don't run, we reveal. She touched the glowing marks on her arm. For the first time they felt warm. Not like fire but like light. Okay, she said. Let them hear me. Outside the ship, the Federation vessel grew. Closer, its weapons were charged. Alarms flashed. But inside the small human ship, a girl once feared was waking up to who she truly was. Hunted by the galaxy, the message went out. And the galaxy heard it, from deep black zones of forgotten space to the towers of rich planets with golden skies. A signal whispered across the stars. The girl you call cursed is not a curse. She's the last of the Starburn. Some laughed. Some panicked, and others started watching. Inside Reed's ship, the signal booster buzzed, overworked but still pushing the truth into space. Ariella stood near the control screen, her hands shaking. "Do you think anyone will believe it?" she asked. Reed checked the sensors. "Doesn't matter. We lit the match. Now we run." The ship jolted, lights flickered. A warning alarm echoed like a heartbeat. "Incoming lock, Federation pursuit craft." "There." "Here," Reed muttered. Ariella stared out the small window. One ship became 2, then 5, then 12. They weren't just sending patrols now. They sent a fleet. Reed pulled the ship into a steep dive through a nearby asteroid field. Metal scraped rock and sparks flew. Ariella held onto the side rail, trying to stay balanced. "They're trying to trap us," she shouted. "No," Reed said, jaw tight. "They're trying to erase you." The Federation wasn't just angry. They were afraid. For years they controlled the story. Told the galaxy Ariella was dangerous. A living plague. Now, the truth was loose, and they couldn't let it spread. As the ship dodged and twisted through narrow gaps between spinning rocks, Ariella closed her eyes. She remembered her dreams, strange stars, blue light, voices calling her name in languages she didn't understand. Something inside her had always been different. Not evil. Not cursed. Just waiting. "Go down," she said suddenly. "What?" Reed glanced at her. "Down," she repeated. "Below the asteroid field. There's something there." He hesitated. "How do you know?" "I don't, but I feel it." He trusted her. Without another word, he steered the ship down deeper, darker into a space where scanners couldn't see. Behind them, the Federation ships slowed, confused. They didn't follow. In the silence, the ship floated through shadow. Until they saw it. A station. Old. Broken. Hidden between 2 dead moons. Covered in dust and silence. Reed stared. "That's not on any map." "No," Ariella whispered, "but I've seen it." "In my dreams." They gawked. The door opened with a hiss. Inside, it smelled like time itself. Rust and memory. Walls were marked with strange symbols. Blue lights flickered faintly, as if waiting. As they stepped inside, Ariella felt her skin tingle. Her glowing marks pulsed brighter. The deeper they walked, the more the place responded. Doors unlocked, screens lit up, machines powered on. "This is a Starburn station," Reed said slowly. "Abandoned. But not dead." They reached a large, round chamber. In the center was a pod, glass and metal, and inside. Another one. A child. A boy, skin like starlight. Marks glowing faintly like Ariella's. "He's like me," she said, stepping forward. Reed checked the console. "Stasis pod. He's been asleep for 60 years. Ariella placed her hand on the glass. It warmed under her touch. "Should we wake him?" Reed asked. Before she could answer, the ship's alarm echoed through the station. They had been found. Ariella turned sharply. "We don't have much time." From the main hallway, boots echoed. Shadows moved. Voices barked orders in alien tongues. Reed pulled out his blaster. "You wake the boy. I'll hold the line." She nodded and placed both hands on the pod. Her marks glowed, and the pod hissed open. The boy gasped for air, blinking with bright blue eyes. He looked at Ariella, confused but not afraid. "You're safe now," she whispered. Reed fired a warning shot. "We've got 3 minutes max." Ariella helped the boy up. "Can you walk?" He nodded slowly. Then suddenly she turned to face the hall toward the incoming troops. Her hands started glowing, brighter than ever before. The air around her shimmered. Reed stared. "What are you doing?" She didn't answer. She stepped forward and released a wave of light. It blasted through the corridor, not fire, not force, but pure energy. The walls shook. The Federation troops fell back, blinded, shouting in panic. The entire station lit up with her power. Back on the ship, minutes later, they escaped. The station collapsed behind them, sealed forever. Inside the ship, the boy looked at Ariella and whispered, "They said we were all gone." She smiled. They were wrong. Project Starburn, long before she was feared, she was designed. Not by gods, not by nature, but by humans. Before Earth disappeared, they built something that should have been impossible. A new kind of life. Ariella was not born. She was chosen. The ship floated silently through deep space. No planet nearby. No light, except the stars. Ariella sat near the window, watching them, millions of them. She had always loved the stars. They made her feel small, but never weak. Tonight, they felt different. She wasn't alone anymore. The boy they rescued was asleep in the back of the ship, wrapped in a warm blanket. His name was Kalen, and like her, he had glowing marks, faint and flickering, like a candle in the wind. Reed stood beside her, holding an old datapad, its screen cracked, but still working. "I think I found the original base," he said. "The one where Project Starburn began." Ariella turned slowly. "Where is it?" Reed zoomed in on the map. Dead zone. Edge of the Nabari Rift. No ships go there anymore. Radiation, space storms, it's a ghost region. Ariella stood. "Then that's where we go." 2 days later, their ship arrived at the edge of the rift. It was like staring into a wound in space. Black clouds twisted across the stars, glowing with silent lightning. Machines had no signal here. Navigation failed. But Ariella's skin began to glow brighter than ever. "The way is forward," she whispered. "I can feel it." They flew into the storm. The ship rocked, screamed, cracked, but held together. Through smoke and chaos, a shape appeared. A space station. Giant. Silent. Unlike the ruined station from before, this one was intact, sleeping, waiting. Reed landed them carefully. Ariella stepped out first. The air inside was cold. Lights turned on as she walked. Every door opened for her. She was home, and yet she had never been here before. They reached a great circular room. In the center was a tall tower of light. Screens blinked alive. Words scrolled across in ancient human code. Project Starburn Central Core access granted. Subject 7, welcome home. Arielle's mouth fell open. "They had names for you. Files. A system." Ariella walked toward the core. Her marks glowed. Like fire now, a voice filled the room. Not from speakers, but from the station itself. Subject 7, status, alive, activation sequence initiated. Final data, upload in progress. "Do you wish to learn the truth?" She nodded. "Yes," and then images, not just on the screen. But in her mind, she saw Earth, bright and full of life. She saw scientists creating children in chambers of light. She saw training, experiments, sorrow, and survival. 7 Starburn were made, 6 were captured or killed. Only she remained, but they were not weapons. They were meant to be protectors of humans, of peace, of the future. Then the vision turned dark. Federation spies learned of the project. They called it unnatural, dangerous. They launched attacks. Earth disappeared in the chaos. Some said destroyed, some said hidden, and Ariella was lost. The voice spoke again. "Subject 7, your memory was sealed to protect the project. That seal is now lifted. You may now reclaim your purpose." Ariella dropped to her knees. So many faces, so many lives lost, And all this time, they had made her believe she was a curse. She wasn't. She was the last light of a dying dream. Reed stepped beside her. Now we know everything. But what do we do with it? Ariella stood slowly. We bring it back. Just then, the lights dimmed. Warning alarms rang. Unauthorized ship DT. Reed ran to the console. They found us again. Ariella's voice was calm. Let them come. The core glowed brighter. Power surged through the station. Can we fight them? Reed asked. Ariella didn't answer with words. She placed her hand on the central tower, and the whole station came alive. Shields activated. Cannons rotated. Defense systems powered on. All since to her. This place was built for us, she said. And I'm done hiding. Outside, the Federation fleet prepared to fire. Inside, a girl once called Cursed stood at the heart of something, ancient and powerful. Her eyes burned with light. The Federation's secrets don't stay buried. Not in space, not in stars, and not in her blood. The Federation told the galaxy she was a curse. But they knew something far more dangerous. She was the truth they were afraid of. The space station hummed with ancient power. Ariella stood in the center of the command chamber, her skin glowing brighter than ever. Reed Carter watched from the control panel, his fingers tapping rapidly, trying to intercept the incoming Federation transmission. They're hailing us, he said. Encrypted. High command. Let them speak, Ariella replied, her voice steady. The screen blinked. A tall alien appeared, cold eyes, gray skin, silver armor. Behind him stood rows of silent officers. He didn't speak her name. He said just 2 words, shut it down. Ariella tilted her head. You mean me? You are activating a forgotten weapon, the alien said. It threatens balance. Stand down, or we will erase that station. And you with it. Reed laughed bitterly. You're afraid of one girl. That's the balance? The alien's voice turned sharp. You don't understand what she is. No, Ariella interrupted, stepping forward. You don't understand. I know what I am now, and I know what you did. She looked straight into the camera. You killed my brothers and sisters. You spread lies. You made the galaxy fear me. The alien did not deny it. The Starburn were not peacekeepers. They were human experiments, faulty, dangerous. Ariella's eyes narrowed. We were protectors. You were weapons, he snapped. Your creators lost control, so we took control. And then, he said something even more shocking. Earth was not destroyed. Earth was hidden, and we helped. Reed froze. What? The alien continued. The humans you serve vanished not because we attacked, but because they feared their own creations. The Starburn were stronger than them. So they locked you away, erased the program, and disappeared. Ariella felt like the air had been pulled from her lungs. My creators feared me? The alien nodded once. You are not the last of Starburn. You are the only one they let live. The screen went black. Reed turned to Ariella. They lied to everyone, even the humans. She was silent. Not broken, but heavy, like a storm just before it falls. Suddenly, the station's lights turned. Red fleet approaching. 20 ships, heavy weapons. Countdown to missile strike. 2 minutes, Reed cursed. They're done talking. Ariella stepped toward the core. Then so am I, in the control bay. Her hand touched the tower. Her veins lit like lightning. The station connected to her thoughts, her memories. The old systems responded. Defense mode activated. Primary operator confirmed. Subject 7 inches. Request. Command input. Ariella whispered just 1 word. Protect. Outside the station, the Federation fleet opened fire. Missiles, plasma beams, ion waves. The void lit up like a star being born. But the station didn't fall. It woke up. From its surface. Shields spread like golden wings. Hidden weapons unfold at ancient and terrible. A blue shockwave burst out, disabling 3 enemy ships in seconds. Ariella wasn't just in control. She was the station now. Meanwhile, deep in the ship's archives, Reed discovered something else, a black file, sealed and protected. He unlocked it. The title read, Project Starburn Earth Failsafe. In the event that Subject 7 awakens, unlock coordinates to Earth's last known location. His heart stopped. Ariella, we can find Earth. She turned to him, sweat on her forehead, light in her eyes. Then let's finish this. Outside, the battle raged. But the station held. Federation ships began pulling back. They had never seen power like this, not from one person, not from one place. They thought she was a myth, a mistake, a memory, but now she was their future. Back inside the ship, Ariella stared at the star map. A new set of coordinates blinked at the edge of the galaxy, a hidden signal. A path home. Reed smiled. Earth didn't leave us. It left a way back. Ariella nodded. Then it's time to return. Far across the stars, in the deepest chambers of Federation Command, a silent council watched the footage in horror. One of them whispered, she wasn't the end of the curse. She's the beginning of the reckoning. Rise of the marked across the galaxy. Her name was a whisper, a rumor, a spark, and then a roar. The cursed one lives. She controls ancient human power. She faced the Federation and survived. In dark alleys of mining moons, on ice worlds where rebels hide, in silent prisons where strange children dream of stars. The marked heard the call. Ariella stood on the command deck of the Starburn station. Below her, the galaxy turned. Above her, a signal pulsed, sent through broken satellites and hidden networks. She had recorded it just hours ago. You were told we were monsters, but we were made to protect you. I am not cursed. I am awake. And I am not the only one. Now the galaxy watched, and some answered back. On the outlaw planet Vetra X, a girl with silver veins lit up her skin for the first time on a desert moon. Twin brothers once called mad lifted a ship with their bare hands, and in a prison, orbiting a dead star, a child touched the wall, and the lights bent to her will. They were the marked, forgotten, hidden, abandoned, and now they were rising. Inside the station, Reed Carter stared at the messages flooding in. They're everywhere, he said, scrolling fast. Dozens, maybe more. Ariella leaned over his shoulder. Names, faces, coordinates, children and teens, and adults from forgotten corners of the galaxy. Some were scared, some were angry. All were changing. Reed looked at her. You gave them a voice. No, Ariella said. I gave them truth. Behind them, Kalen, the young Starburn boy, sat quietly, drawing star maps by hand. His powers were still weak, but his smile was stronger than ever. He looked up. They're going to come for US again, aren't they? Ariella nodded. Yes, but this time they won't find prey. Far away, in the black glass tower of the Federation's core command, alarms were flashing. The High Council watched the spread of Ariella's message. One of them slammed his fist on the table. We should have killed her when we had the chance. Another whispered, we didn't just miss our chance. We woke a generation. Meanwhile, back on the Starborn station, something began to glow in the center chamber, not from the machines, but from beneath the floor. Ariella felt it first a pull in her chest. She stepped into the center, and the floor opened slowly, revealing a sealed door with human letters carved in ancient steel. Arc 1, Starburn Seed VL. Reed blinked. What is that? Ariella answered without thinking. Hope. Inside the chamber, they found something the Federation never knew existed. Blueprints, DNA backups, suit designs, ship models, and deep inside, A folded flag, the Earth emblem, still untouched. Reed touched it gently. They really did plan for us to come back. Ariella picked up a small device from the center. It lit up in her hand, a new voice echoed, not robotic but human. To the one who awakens, you were made not to conquer, but to protect. They will fear you. They will try to break you. But remember this, you are the legacy of Earth, and you were never alone. Ariella's heart felt full and heavy. I thought I was a mistake, she whispered. I thought I was the last. Reed stepped beside her. You were the first. Outside the station, dozens of small ships began to arrive, some broken, some barely flying. On board were the marked, others like her, drawn by the signal. They didn't come with weapons. They came with questions, with hope, with power awakening in their veins. The docking bay lit up. Ariella stepped out to meet them. Young, old, scared, strong. They all watched her, waiting. She spoke softly, but her voice carried like thunder. They told us we were dangerous, that we should hide, that we were cursed. But I've seen the truth. We are not the end. We are the beginning. And the galaxy has no idea what we really are. Somewhere far in the darkness, the Federation began building a new weapon. One meant for Starborn. One meant for her. But they were already too late. The marked were rising, and this time, they had a leader. The curse was a lie, legends die. But the truth survives. Once, they called her cursed. Now they called her commander. Once, she walked alone. Now, thousands walked behind her. And in the deepest silence of space, she was headed home. The Starborn fleet moved like a silver storm, quiet, tight, ready. Ariella stood at the center of it all, on the deck of her ship, eyes fixed on the blue blinking light on the map. Earth, still hidden, still waiting. Beside her, Reed Carter adjusted the coordinates. We'll breach the shield in 60 seconds, he said. And after that? Ariella asked. Reed looked at her. We find out if Earth remembers you. Behind them, the marked ships followed, fighters, carriers, old rusted freighters rebuilt by rebels and children once forgotten. They weren't just coming back. They were coming to finish the lie. But Earth was not unguarded. As they neared the planet's hidden edge, the stars themselves seemed to twist. From the shadows, a massive shape unfolded. The obsidian crown, the Federation's final weapon, larger than a moon. Powered by stolen Starborn tech. Designed for one mission, erase Ariella. Ariella watched it rise. So did Kalen, standing near her in his new uniform, his marks glowing strong now. Are we going to fight them? He asked. No, she said. We're going to end them. Deep voice echoed through all their ships. The Federation commander. Turn back. This is your last warning. If you cross the veil, Earth will burn. Ariella didn't reply. She reached for the console. Her marks flared with light. Let the truth speak. Every ship in the fleet received the transmission. Ariella's voice. Her memory. Her truth. The entire galaxy heard her final message. They called me cursed. Was a lie. You feared me because you feared your own past. But I am not your mistake. I am your mirror. I am your memory. And I will not run. The obsidian crown fired. A weapon of pure void energy. Enough to tear moons in half. But Ariella's ship stood still. And when the beam hit, she caught it. Not with metal. Not with force. But with the full awakening of her power. A giant wave of light burst from her body, shielding every ship behind her. The beam shattered like glass. Then she rose, outside the ship, floating in space, no suit, only her. Her glowing skin lit up the dark. Her marks moved like starlight across her arms. The Federation ships paused. And then she pointed to Earth. The old shield covering the planet flickered. It recognized her DNA. It knew her voice. And it opened. Earth appeared below, quiet, green, and full of life. Not dead, not lost. Just hidden. waiting for someone to remember. The Federation ships tried one last attack, but the starburn had risen. Kalen lifted his hands, sending a shockwave across space. Others followed, young, old, weak, strong. Together, they created something never seen before, a wall of light, a pulse of truth, a weapon powered by memory, unity, and choice. The obsidian crown cracked, then exploded. The last lie died with it. Ariella landed gently on Earth's surface. She walked barefoot through the grass of a forgotten world. The same flag she saw in the seed vault waved in the breeze. Earth had not given up on her. It had waited. And now it welcomed her home. The marked followed. One by one, they landed. Their feet touched the soil. Their eyes filled with light. Their curse lifted. Because it was never real. It was control. It was fear. And now, it was over. In time, Earth became a symbol again, not of power, but of healing. Ariella stood before a new council, not of rulers, but of survivors. Humans, aliens, starburn, all equal now. She spoke only once that day. The curse was a lie, but our hope never was. And across the stars, in places where children still whispered myths, they now said something new. She was never a curse. She was the beginning of the light.